Lucas stood frozen just at his kitchen sink. The bottle in his hand fell and shattered on the floor. Outside his window was his mother's face, the same face he had buried 3 months ago. Her eyes were not angry. They were not sad either. They were waiting, and they were completely dry. Lucas Adeyemi was not always rich. 5 years ago, he lived in a small flat with his mother, Folami. Folami was often sick. She had worked in a textile factory for 30 years. The chemical had damaged her lungs. "We need money for your medicine," Lucas told her one evening. "God will provide," Folami said, coughing into her handkerchief. Lucas had lost his job at the bank 3 months ago. Every day, he pretended to go to work. He would sit in the park instead, too ashamed to tell his mother. One night, Lucas found his mother crying by her bed. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm just tired of being sick." After she fell asleep, Lucas collected her tears in a small bottle. He did not know why, maybe to remember her pain. The next day, a neighbor knocked on their door. Her baby had a high fever. "The hospital is too far," the woman cried. "Do you have anything that might help?" Lucas didn't know why he did it. Perhaps desperation, perhaps shame. He gave her the bottle with his mother's tears. "This is blessed water," he lied. "Just one drop on the baby's forehead." The next morning, the woman returned. The baby's fever was gone. "It's a miracle," she said, pressing money into his hands. "Do you have more of this holy water?" That night, Lucas watched his mother cry again. This time, he collected every tear. It's been 2 years since Lucas found a new job in selling his mother's tears. He now owned Divine Tears Healing Ministry. He sold tiny bottles of holy water for very high prices. People come from everywhere. They believe his story about angels blessing the water with healing tears. The testimonies were powerful. "My arthritis vanished after 3 days," one woman proclaimed on Lucas' weekly TV program. "The doctors gave me 6 months to live." That water was a year ago. A thin man testified holding up his bottle of holy water. With each testimony, demand growth. Prices doubled, then tripled. Lucas was making more money than he would count. But there was a problem. His mother was getting better with the expensive treatment he could now afford. With her improved health, she cried less and less. The supply of tears was running out. Lucas discovered a solution by accident. His mother's new lung medication had an unusual side effect. It made her emotional, very emotional. "It's strange," Folami told the nurse. "I cry at everything now. Even happy things makes me weep." Lucas heard this and checked the medication information. Excessive lacrimination, increased tear production, was listed as a rare side effect. That night, Lucas secretly doubled his mother's dosage. The doctor said you need more to help your lungs heal faster. He lied. The next morning, Folami couldn't stop crying. Tears streamed down her face constantly. "I don't know what's wrong with me," she sobbed. "It's just the medicine," Lucas said, gently jabbing her cheeks with a small vial when she wasn't looking. The doctor said it's temporary. Lucas collected bottle after bottle of tears. His business grew larger. He opened new offices in 3 cities. Celebrities endorsed his holy water. The Prime Minister's wife was photographed carrying a gold-plated bottle. When customers called to share their miracles, Lucas recorded their testimonies. For his advertisement, when skeptics questioned how water could cure diseases, Lucas would smile. "Science can't explain everything," he would say. "Faith works in ways we can't understand." His mother's condition worsened despite the expensive treatment. The increased medication was damaging her kidney, but Lucas couldn't stop now. Too many people depended on the business. Too much money was at stake. Just a little longer, he told himself each night as he collected his mother's tears. while she slept. Folami grew weak each day. Her body was thin, her eyes sunken, but never dry. The tears kept flowing. One evening, Lucas was giving a speech on a luxury hotel. He had just announced a new premium line of holy water, Celestial Tears, at 10 times the regular price. The crowd applauded. His phone rang. "Come quickly," the nurse said. "Your mother is asking for you." When Lucas arrived, Folami was sitting up in her bed. Her face was wet with tears, but her eyes had a clarity he hadn't seen in months. "I know about the tears," she said softly. Lucas felt cold suddenly. "What tears, Mama?" "My tears, the ones you've been harvesting, the ones you sell." Her voice was weak but steady. "I've known for some time now." Lucas tried to speak, but no words came out. "I found the extra pills," she continued. "The nurse told me the real dosage." Lucas fell to his knees beside her bed. "Mama, I can explain." Folami raised a trembling hand to stop him. "I forgive you. You did what you thought you had to do." She coughed violently, then continued. "But there is something you must understand. Every tear holds a piece of my soul, and every piece will demand repayment." "What do you mean?" Lucas asked, frightened by her intensity. "The debt of tears must be paid," she whispered. "When I'm gone, they will come to collect. All of them. They will find their way home." That night, Folami died in her sleep. Her face was very peaceful and completely dry, as if every tear had already been spent. Lucas gave his mother a big funeral. Important people came. The business continued to grow, but Lucas could not sleep well anymore. Each night, he dreamed of bottles filling with tears. In the dream, the tears were not water. They were tiny pieces of his mother. 3 months after the funeral, Lucas was washing his hand at the kitchen sink. He looked up at the window and saw his mother's face. He dropped the bottle he was holding. It shattered on the floor. His mother's face didn't move. It didn't speak. It just watched him with dry, patient eyes. Lucas ran from the room. He called his friend David. "I'm saying things," Lucas said. "I think I need to rest." "You've been working too hard," David agreed. "Take a vacation." Lucas flew to a beach resort the next day. In his hotel room, he turned on the shower. His mother's face appeared in the steam on the mirror. Lucas checked out immediately. He flew home. At home, every reflective surface showed his mother's face. The TV screen, the window, even his phone. Lucas called a pastor. "My house is haunted," he said. The pastor came and prayed over the house. He sprinkled holy water in every room. "There are no ghosts here," the pastor said, "only guilt." That night, Lucas woke up thirsty. He went to the kitchen for water. His mother was sitting at the table. She was not transparent like a ghost in movies. She looked solid, real, except her eyes. They were empty spaces, like holes waiting to be filled. "You are not real," Lucas whispered. "I am as real as your lies," Folami answered. Her voice sounded dry, like pepper rubbing together. "What do you want?" Lucas asked. "I want what belongs to me," she said. "My tears, my pain, the pieces of my soul you sold." Lucas cancelled all his appointments. He needed to think, to understand. He went to his company's warehouse. Thousands of bottles of holy water lined the shelves. None of them contained his mother's actual tears. Those had been sold long ago. As Lucas walked down the aisle, he noticed something strange. Some bottles were cloudy. Inside them, the water moved in an unnatural way, like tiny currents. Lucas grabbed one and held it up to the light. For a second, he thought he saw a face in the water. His mother's face. His phone rang, making him jump. It was Mrs. Socorro, one of his first customers. "Prophet Lucas," her voice trembled. "Something is happening to the holy water you sold to me 3 years ago." "What do you mean?" Lucas asked. "It's changing color, and sometimes I hear crying coming from the bottle. At night, I see a woman's reflection in it. An old woman, I don't know." Lucas received 7 more calls that day, all from early customers, all reporting the same thing. The original bottles, the ones that had contained his mother's real tears, were all changing. That evening, Lucas sat in his living room surrounded by newspapers, articles about his business. One headline caught his eyes: "Miracle Water Saves Dying Child." It was about a boy named Tunde who had been cured of a deadly fever after using Lucas's holy water. The article was from 3 years ago, one of his first sale. Lucas searched online for Tunde. He found a recent school photograph. The boy was healthy, smiling. Lucas felt something strange, pride and relief. Then he noticed another article: "Family loses everything waiting for miracle cure." This story was about a man who has spent his life savings on holy water, believing it will cure his wife's cancer. The woman had died anyways. The family was now homeless. Despite this, 10 more success stories appeared for every failure. Dr. Kadiri, a psychologist professor, had written a research paper about the divine tears phenomenon. Lucas had never read it until now. The power of belief cannot be underestimated, the doctor wrote. In control studies, patients given ordinary water but told it was holy showed measurable improvements in symptoms. The mind can be a powerful healing force when properly convinced. Lucas had always suspected this. He had seen it himself. The strongest believers often got the best results, but he had never admitted it, even to himself. It was easier to believe in the magic of his mother's tears than to face the complex reality. Lucas turned on the TV. A reporter was standing outside his company building. Customers report strange phenomena with divine tears products. The reporter said some claim to hear crying from sealed bottles. Others report seeing a woman's face in the water. Lucas turned off the TV. His mother was standing behind it. "Now you see," she said, "every tear finds its way home." Lucas didn't go to work the next day or the next. He watched the news as his company fell apart. People were returning bottles by the thousands. Some were filing lawsuits. The government has started an investigation. Lucas's phone rang. It was David. "Where are you?" David shouted. "Everything is collapsing." "Let it collapse," Lucas said quietly. "Are you crazy? We'll lose everything." "It was never ours to keep," Lucas replied and hung up the phone. That night, his mother appeared again. This time, she was crying, but her tears weren't flowing down her face. They were floating upward like rain in rivers. "Why are you crying now?" Lucas asked. "Because you still don't understand," she said. "The debt isn't about the bottles. It's about the lies, the false hope, the pain you've caused." "How do I fix it?" Lucas asked. "Some things can't be fixed," she said. "Some debts can only be paid." "What do you want from me?" Lucas begged. "The truth," she said simply. "Every lie must be balanced with truth." The next day, Lucas called a press conference. Hundreds of people came. News, cameras rolling. "My name is Lucas Adeyemi," he began, "and I am a liar." His voice shook as he told the whole story, how he had collected his dying mother's tears, how he had sold them as holy water, how he had continued selling tap water after the real tears ran out. There were no angels, he said, no divine spring, just a sick woman's tears and a desperate son's lies. The crowd grew angry. People shouted and threw their bottles at him. Security guards tried to take him away, but Lucas refused to leave. "I'll return every penny," he said. "I will sell everything I own, but money can't repay the worst damage to those who ignored proper medical care because of me. I'm truly very sorry. To those who gave their last hope to my lies, I beg forgiveness." As Lucas spoke, something strange happened. The bottle people had thrown began to leak. Water spread across the floor in thin streams, all flowing towards Lucas. By the time he finished speaking, Lucas was standing in a pool of water. It soaked through his shoes. It climbed up his legs like living vine. Lucas didn't move. He accepted it. The debt must be paid, he whispered. Lucas sold everything, his houses, his cars, his company. He paid back everyone he could find. He set up a fund for those who had been harmed by his lies. And just like that, Lucas's mother never visited him again. 5 years has gone by, and Lucas found a work at the hospital. He was now a counselor for terminal patients. He had a simple rule. He never lied to them, not even small lies of comfort. Instead, he listened. He held their hands. He wiped their tears with clean clothes. Lucas kept those clothes. He washed them carefully and dried them in the sun. Then he cut them into small squares and gave them to the patient's family after they passed. To remember their tears, he would say, to honor their pain. People said Lucas had a gift. Patients found peace in his presence. Family members felt less afraid when he was there. But no one knows about what Lucas does with some of those clothes. No one saw Lucas take them to the old well behind his mother's former home each month. The well had dried up years ago. Lucas would drop the clothes into its darkness, returning the tears to the earth. One evening, as Lucas dropped the clothes, he heard a sound from the bottom of the well. A splash. He shone his flashlight down. Water was rising in the well. Clear, fresh water. As Lucas watched, the water rose higher and higher. When it reached the top, he saw a face reflected on it. His mother's face. She was smiling, and her eyes were not dry anymore. They were full, bright, and alive. The debt is paid, her reflection said. The cycle is complete. The water overflowed the well, spreading across the ground, but Lucas didn't step back. He let it soak his shoes, his legs. This time, the water didn't feel cold or accusing. It felt like forgiveness. Lucas knelt and touched the water. It was just water now, nothing magical, nothing cost, just clean, honest water. He filled a bottle from the well and took it home. He placed it on his windowsill where moonlight could shine through it. Lucas never sold another drop of water. Some people believe anything as long as it gives them hope, even if it's just water in a bottle, even if it means leaving their real medicine on the table. But hope without wisdom is dangerous, and healing that comes from lies never truly lasts. If you are sick, please go to the hospital. Pray if you want to. Believe if you need to. But don't choose fake miracles over real treatment. And if you are someone who uses other people's pain to make money, let this story be your warning. Because every tear you steal will one day come back looking for you. And when it does, it may not be angry. It may not even shout. It will just wait, just like his mother did, with eyes that were dry but full of truths. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to share this story with your family and your friends whom I love to see them. Till I see you again in my next story. Goodbye.